Hey guys, Andy here again. Thanks again for the welcome back wishes. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. And yeah, obviously I've been gone for a while now, so it's been arguably almost a year since I've produced a good video. So the main issue was I encountered several hurdles and certain checkpoints in my off-grid energy solution career, so to speak. And at that point, I had to put everything on pause because I had hit several roadblocks. Many projects that I had started had failed or had been destroyed, and I reached my $2,000 limit. And at that point, I decided, okay, I have to put everything on pause and I have to focus on my long-term goals, because the short-term goals are going to prevent me from achieving my long-term goals if I continue on that path. So it was unfortunate, but I'm now officially in the next few days, I'll be completely debt-free. I won't owe anyone any money, and now I can start saving up to buy a property way out in the woods. I already own a house trailer, a pretty good one, and so yeah, I just have to save up money now to buy the property and build my giant drive shed greenhouse that I'll put the house trailer in. So that will be a big task, saving up all that money. But that's okay. But yeah, so that's mainly why nothing's been done here, because I've just been working very long hours. I actually, in February, when I stopped posting videos altogether, I switched my work schedule, so I became the primary work mule for where I work, and so that changed my entire schedule to a point where, and plus I had vehicle problems. I had a lot of issues that I had to resolve, and now they're all resolved, which, feels pretty good. As long as my car doesn't break, I'll be okay. Because vehicles are very expensive. And yeah, everything still works fine. I never stopped thinking about it or thinking about solutions and that. The biggest problem was this thing worked fine the way it was, but it doesn't have a shut-off. It turns out it doesn't have a shut-off. It worked great in combination with this charger. One of them down here. It disappeared. But anyways, I got some junk. I found this at the dump. It was pretty cool. It's from 2004. It's an old Pentium 4. And yeah, make a good computer case. I'll clean it up. I already have a pretty good computer case. Mine. See, I've got this nice black one. I got this thing off Kijiji, but someone had spilt curry all over it, so it took a lot of cleaning. But I got it for dirt cheap. I think I paid some ridiculous price for it, like $25. But yeah, it was covered in curry. It was gross. So I had to spend a lot of time cleaning it up to get this nice case. It's a much better case than the blue one over there. Let's see. Pretty fancy for my taste. But, yeah, and I put one of those AliExpress, was it Xeon 26? I have it written here. I'm running a 2620 V3, this one. So 16 gigs of RAM, the 6-core 12-thread processor. RAM, the motherboard, was $185 Canadian, so that's probably like $5 American. But anyways, it's running great. And then I also got this one. See, I did Visa mounts. It's pretty cool. Pretty cheap too. These stands are only like $30 or $26 or something. So that's like $2 American, right? The way our economy is. But anyways, I took an old, really old computer case, right? You can see, and I chopped it all up. It was a real messy job, but I just used a zip cutter and, pliers and stuff. And then I ran the wires, so the on-off button is down here, and the lights, I'll turn on. See, pretty simple. I think this hard drive's bad. The guy I bought it from, I bought it for like 30 bucks. I think the hard drive's bad. It's too bad, but 30 bucks, no big deal, right? But anyways, I got this computer. It's pretty cool. And I got this monitor too for really cheap. And later I found out it's because there's dead pixels up at the top. It only has one single, I can't even get it out. So what I had to do was I had to buy an adapter cable that was 30 bucks. Look, this turns DVI. See? The DVI, it turns it into, display port. That's confusing. So it only has a display port input, nothing else. But it does have this 12 volt input. And that's why I wanted it. Because I want to be able to run the monitor and the computer completely off of the batteries and the buck converter down there. So I haven't given up on any of my projects. I just put them all on pause and worked on other things for a bit. And the biggest problem was I was really worried about replacing that old blue BMS with this one, and I couldn't find any functional software. But now I have, so that's why the big change was. I finally, sat down and put the effort into finding the software. So I'll make a video only about this unit here, and most of them that look even remotely similar to this one, they all use the same software. So I'll do a little tutorial on that. I hooked this guy up. I should have done it a long time ago. It's really awesome. Mode, max, min difference. That's pretty cool. I like that. So it says it's at 66%. It's cool. And you can just cycle through. I should have done that a long time ago, but that's okay, right? You only have so much time in a day, and you can't be a jack of all trades without sacrifices, right? So the wiring is a little bit messy. It's all over the place. You see it's getting, I tried my best to tie it all together and, hide it, but this is the prototype. So one of my big projects this winter will be to build a second wall, and that one should be cleaned up. This guy, I've seen up to 220 watts output. So out of whatever the was the max, 255 watts. So that's pretty good if its max is 255. And I've seen on the Make Sky Blue, well, this is, for, I think it's first or second. I think it's second revision, third factory, third shift. If you understand what that terminology means, basically means don't ever trust a commie. But whatever, right? No big deal. You get what you pay for, and when I bought it, the whole industry was a lot, like it was just before they started making it a lot easier to get a hold of those, but no big deal. But anyways, things are going good with these guys. I haven't had a single problem in the past 8 months, and I had all this paperwork. I was trying to track the discrepancies in it. So I was doing a lot of that, and then I gave up on it because without putting it into an Excel sheet, there was no problem, right? There was no video to make because there's nothing wrong with it. Oh, here it is. This is the wall plug unit. So this worked fine for charging it up, but now that I have to move on to phase 2 of my setup, it no longer makes sense to charge it up using, grid tie. Now we have to switch to solar, which has been running really good now that I have the settings correct. And at the very start, my settings on this were completely wrong, and my settings on this guy were really, really off. So the main problem was this one, D01, was not. So it had to be, let's see, D01 was not low enough, and that's why it wasn't working. So that D01 has to be like optimal, so like 27, 28 volts for this Make Sky Blue knockoff. Somewhere around there. And I had it too high, so that's why it looked like it didn't work. So I'll have to make a new review of it. Not that it's worth it. I'd have to buy a real Make Sky Blue that says right on the panel Make Sky Blue, and I have to buy their newest revision in order to do a proper review on it. And for me, it's not worth it to spend $100 doing that. But I'm strongly considering deleting my old video reviewing the Make Sky Blue because of how wrong I got it. Because the settings and the explanation was so terrible. It was very frustrating, and because I didn't have a proper setup. So I'm gonna be looking over it in the next week or two, deleting it, changing my format, how I make videos, and stuff like that. So yeah, in conclusion, yeah, pretty happy. Thanks again for all the wishes all of you gave me, all the welcome backs. I really appreciate it. This year hasn't been fun for anyone, I can't imagine, and hopefully all of you have been really well through all this nonsense. And I won't get into any of the social, political, or medical aspects of it, but luckily where I am in Canada and how things are, it hasn't affected me personally, financially, which is really good. I haven't taken any financial hit, or none of my family members or friends that I know have, I guess you could say, fell victim to this issue going on, because I don't even like calling it a pandemic, but like I said, I won't go into that. But anyways, yeah, things have been very good for me. It's just been a really crappy year for everyone, and I just I had to focus on paying off my debt, and now that I've done that, I can now shift my gaze to other things, right? And I think one of my biggest missteps last year was building these boxes. I think that was my biggest mistake, was going into something that had nothing to do, like these and this guy. I had no use for them, and I wasted all this time building them. They're not safe, they're not reliable, right? Like, I should have never, especially this one, I should have just thrown out the cells. It works, it's fine. Same with this one, but this one's a little questionable, and I had so many issues with it, especially with the wiring and how to charge it up. I was trying new and different charging techniques to charge up the cells, and I think, and that blew up a bunch of my little chips. These guys trying to do that learning process. So, I mean, I made a lot of missteps and mistakes, and I got to a point where, especially with this one, I got it working. I did get a gaming computer running on this unit, and then I blew up the chips. They all snap crackled in here. Or I blew up that one, so I replaced it. Then these blew up, so I could never make a proper video. And so I had to just walk away from it for a bit. But they stopped selling these boards. And I tried twice buying brand new ones of these computer power supplies, 12 volts to computer, and wouldn't let me. Actually, they tried scamming me, and I got the money back twice. So by then, like 3 months had been wasted or more, possibly more, on just trying to run a computer straight off 12 volts DC. So, I mean, I hit such massive, frustrating roadblocks of waiting for parts, then them never arriving, then having to, like, what is it called, SRP or something. But anyways, it was unfortunate. And with that, I had to make the decisive decision to put everything on pause and focus only on making money and paying off debt, which, like I said, now that that's done, I can move forward once again, and I'll have a video discussing this guy. I think I'll make a quick little video, really quick, simple video discussing this unit. And I'm gonna make a new video discussing this, and then I might delete the old video because I think it's not fair to make sky blue for me to publish. Like, I know the video is quite old now, but still, I think this is stupid. Like, they could have just spent the extra penny to get the different controller chip that would properly display, the voltage. So I still think that is ridiculous, and there's tiny things inside of here that make it really annoying. It's missing tiny little things that in the end doesn't really matter to most people, but you get what you pay for, right? It's a cheap MPPT, so I feel like I was not correct in that. So anyways, no big deal. But anyways, yeah, things are good. Plus my spot welder, I feel like I had issues with it using the battery booster cable. I'm not sure of how well that worked, but anyways, I have this big TV my grandpa gave me to fix, so I might do that. If I can figure out how to get it to work, then I'll make a video about it, showing people how to fix these old things. I mean, it depends, like it flickers. If I plug it in, press the power button, it flickers and then nothing, so maybe it's the controller board, right? So these are all the parts from this old computer case. It was like really cringy, janky, early 2000s, right? Even has a nice plastic, clear. Look at that, that's pretty cool, eh? Well, I mean, for early 2000s it was cool. So I'm gonna clean it up, and then I'll put everything back in it. Look at all these fan holder brackets. It's ridiculous. Like, this was like an awkward phase. Like, the power supply is 420 watts, and it doesn't even do SATA. Like, this was before SATA. Fans, like, this is how dirty it was. I just took all the inner guts and I just threw them in the the recycling or whatever. Look at this thing. Pretty nice machining work on the underside of it. Strange, eh? But yeah, it has these like quick release bays. Everything was IDE. That's what I find pretty funny. But there was no point in even considering, trying to get it working and boot it up, because it was a Pentium 4 and it had like 3 times 250, so 2, 4, 6. It had about 700 and some megabytes of RAM. Like, you can't do anything with a computer like that, especially when it was left out in the rain. That's questionable. So, I mean, but it was a pretty neat little find. It was fun. So another big project was I have 2 of these Toyota Corollas, and I've pretty much stripped all of the parts I possibly could out of my old Toyota Corolla, because the frame is rotted right out underneath, and this was, I didn't have it for very long, but the whole underside is so rusted, and it had gotten in an accident that was unreported, so you could never get the alignment right, and it would ruin the front tires. So with the amount of driving I do, that was no good. So I've put on all spare tires so I could have winter rims. I finally put it back together because it was all in pieces. And yeah, let's see. I've like taken so many parts, so I took like the power windows out of it, and I even swapped them. So this car now has the roll down windows. I put everything, I can't figure out where this one, I think it's in somewhere, but I put all of the parts from my new car into this one. And yeah, it actually looks pretty nice in here, considering how much of a piece of junk this car is. It's, like I said, the alignment is not right, and I had this vibration issue. Whoops. Left the, I guess the battery's dead now. I'll have to recharge it. But anyways, I've stripped a lot of parts out of it, especially in the engine, like the injectors, all that stuff. Pretty intense, but it's a clean car, right? It's nice, but yeah, rusted out. I'll have to get rid of it soon. The only thing left is the rear power windows and the bearings. The rear bearings, one of them, I think this one, or no, it's the other side. It's a brand new bearing. It was like $100, so I would rather put it on to my new car instead of paying another $100 needlessly for a bearing, you know. You don't get out of debt by being foolish and wasteful, right? But anyways, it's always good to have an old, if you have two Corollas the same age, you can just start swapping parts. There are quite a few parts. There are only 1 year difference between the two of these cars, but that 1 year has several major issues. Like, I couldn't take the cruise control out of this one and put it in my new one. There was a few other tiny things, but most of it was the same. This is a 2003, the new one's a 2004, but anyways. So I spent a lot of my summer fixing up the new car that I bought. The new one I bought for $4,000 right at lockdown. I'd say maybe a week or two after lockdown, I bought my new one. Well, it's 17 years old. It's a 2003, but no rust on it whatsoever. The whole underside was heavily coated in, in grease or oil every year religiously for its entire life, and had low kilometers, well, reasonably low kilometers, but it was all stock, so nobody wanted it. So since I already had one with all the bells and whistles, I just rip them all out, rip out all the guts and throw them in. The hardest thing to do was the power windows, since I had to do my own wiring, since the wiring harnesses were completely different between 2003 and 2004 of the Toyota Corolla. But you can tell I spent a lot of time on fixing and taking apart these two cars, right? It was a lot of work, and I learned a lot. I'm really good at fixing Toyota Corollas now, so that's a positive, right? But anyways, now that that's all done, and my new Corolla is running really good, then yeah, I want to keep the front headlights, since they're in much better shape than mine. So it's pretty much just the rear power windows, the headlights, and the bearings, front and rear bearings, that I want off of this thing, and then I'm done with it. But yeah, that's been one of my major projects. And then stuff in the house, and especially hanging out with my daughter and doing fun things with her, like going to the beach and just trying to enjoy this summer rather than pushing myself too hard. But yeah, everything runs great. This inverter, it has a lot of coil line in it, and I think that's why I got it for so cheap. I don't know if there's a way to fix the coil line. Maybe I could take it apart and see if a capacitor or something inside there had blown or was defective from factory, and that's where the coil line is coming from. Most likely that's where the coil line is coming from. But anyways, this video is pretty long now. It's already at 25 minutes. But yeah, thanks again everyone, and I'll have videos coming in the future. My format's going to be different in the future because it's going to be more information based, focusing only on information, I think, and less on making it look nice. But since my only goal is kind of building up a portfolio of like short videos of how-tos, just looking over the metrics of my videos over the last year and analyzing that. I've found very specific trends. Like, my goal is to help people, and I feel like wasting my time with nice thumbnails or trying to make it a certain format that looks good, you know, especially for YouTube, I don't like that. I don't think it's useful to the end user. And, you know, I was making YouTube videos back in 2000 and something, for a long time ago. And now they want to be the new cable TV. I don't like that, so a lot of my videos will just go on BitChute instead. But, of course, they'll be put on YouTube. Anyways, we'll see how all that goes, and thanks again, everyone. And, yeah, we'll see how... It's going to be hard for me to try and show you the Android software for this. I'll have to figure out how to film my phone. Anyways, I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.